without your love. Ooh, mama.
Hello, beautiful souls. It's your girl, Dara, with Cups and Conversations, coming to you with a double feature for the month of May. May is my birthday month, so we're going to celebrate that, and we're also going to celebrate that it is Mother's Day month. Now, be sure you're celebrating your mothers every day, but I am bringing a double feature, part 1 and 2, to celebrate mothers. So if you are a mother, happy Mother's Day. We love you every day. So today we are going to bring my mothers on the show. So we have my mother that birthed me, Dona, and we have my bonus mother, which is my father's wife, Blazze. So God loved me enough that he gave me multiples, and I can appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and introduce them to you tonight. I call them Mama and Ma, and you can call them Dona Humphrey and Blazze Swearingen. Here we go. Welcome to Cups and Conversations. Viewers for joining us tonight. If you have not already, please like, subscribe, and bang that bell so you don't miss any content. First, I'm going to introduce you to my mother, Dona Humphrey. Dona, introduce yourself and tell us what's in your cup.
Hi, I'm Dona Humphrey. I'm her mother, her biological mother. That's my baby girl, Dara. And in my cup, it says, let's love. Because we need a lot of love, and we need to do it. All of us need to love.
Thank you, Mama. And you're right. All of us need to love on somebody. That way you can receive some love in return. Next up, I have my Blazze. My Blazze, introduce yourself and tell us what's in your cup.
Hi, my name is Blazze. I'm so glad to be here. It's such an honor to be here with my bonus baby and to be here with her beautiful mother. It's just, y'all don't know how that makes me feel. Such an honor. In my cup, it says, let it be. That's the closest thing I could find to let go and let God. I need that every day in my life.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Let go and let God. Yes. Now, I couldn't say that no better, because I know a lot of times we think we have full control over our life, but we don't.
Amen.
Things gonna happen the way they gonna happen, you know? Hey, so let's jump into it. I'm so glad that you all decided to join us on tonight, because on this Mother's Day edition, we are going to be talking about mothers of adult children, and the challenges, and also the highlights and the great things about it, but also those things that's kind of some good stuff to jump into to help other mothers out here that are mothers of adult children that may be having some issues and some struggles with dealing with them. So, first question, let's talk about motherhood. What does motherhood mean to you, Mama?
Motherhood, to me, means a whole lot of things. First of all, it's a blessing to be a mother, because some people don't get that blessing. And I pray for each of you that want children that can't have them, because it is a beautiful blessing to be a mother. My children have brought so much joy to my life and my heart. They really have. So motherhood is trying. It's a lot of trials and tribulations, ups and downs, good and bad. It's a lot. It's a merry-go-round. It's a roller coaster. It's up and down, around and around. It's something else. I tell you, it's not always easy. It's not always hard. It's a beautiful thing, but you got to go through some things as a mother.
I agree with that. You definitely have to go through some things as a mother. All right, my Blazze, what you got for us? What's motherhood to you?
Well, I have to echo off of Dona. It is a blessing. It's a privilege to be a mother. Even if you're not the biological mother, it's just a privilege to have that honor, that name. I have the experience of learning from my children. They don't just learn from me, but sometimes we have to listen to them. They help me grow as a person. Growing up, I was the only child. Um, and it was a whole new world. When you get a whole lot of other people, you learn to not have any selfish tendencies at all. You have to come out of yourself. I learned to be a stronger person. Most of all, I learned to listen. You have to listen to the kids too.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm glad that you said that because we were going to talk about that as well. Go ahead and let us know how many children you have, Mama and Ma, and their ages.
Well, I have 2 biological children and 1 stepson in the middle, but he's mine. I've had him since he's 4 years old.
That's
and
right.
now he's 38. So he's my child. That's my boy. But there were challenges with my 3 children. They're stair-step. Like my 2 daughters are 16 months apart. Right now, one is 38 and the other one is 40.
Mm-hmm.
And then my son is in the middle. So sometimes he's 38 with the youngest daughter, and sometimes he's 39 with the oldest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And then at another time, it's 38, 39, and 40. Then it becomes 38 and 40, 40. 240. Sometimes it's 2 38s, then it's 2 40s. Y'all figure it out.
Right.
But it's 2 girls and a boy. And all 3 of them are different children, have brought joy to my life, ups and downs, trials and tribulations, you name it, they brought it. But overall, I had no problems out of none of them. They were great kids. And I have to say that I didn't do it by myself. The man above helped tremendously because I needed him throughout all of it. And he was there the whole time and still there, because people think that because your kids get grown that your mothering issues have stopped. No, they're still there. They're still there. And sometimes you're more useful as a mother when they're adults than children, than when they were younger. But overall, my children were great kids, great adults, doing great things in their lives right now, and have brought me so much joy. Love y'all.
Love you too. Mom, Blazze, what about your children? How old are they? How many do you have?
Lord have mercy. I have 3 biological children. I have 7 bonus babies.
Mm-hmm.
I had 8 bonus babies, but he's smiling down upon us right now. And I know he's so proud of his sister. So proud of his sister. They range in the ages from 50 to 22.
Yes.
So, I don't know. It's just no bedtime stories right now. It's real life.
Yeah. 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 So would you say that it gets harder as the children get older, or does it get easier when the children get older? What would you say, my Blazze?
I think since there are so many personalities that I deal with, that's kind of hard to answer. So a lot of different personalities. Nobody is the same. No 2 are the same. You have to deal with their individual situation and their personality. But I was blessed to not have a lot of drama with the children. And I just love it. God knows I can't take that. I love the kids. I love the kids. You just, like I said before, I have to repeat myself, learn to listen to your children.
Yes.
No matter how many you got, they're really not the same.
Yeah.
Really not the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Well, with that being said, we are going to jump in. So let's talk about it. Ladies, get your paddles ready because it's game time. All right, ladies, let's get started. So you have your paddles?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to ask some questions. If it's a good for you, then thumbs up. If you're still working on it, thumbs down. We know we all got stuff we still working on. But let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. So have you ever called your child by one of their siblings' names? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yes. I think that's all of us. It's like, and my mom used to always say, "You know who I'm talking to,
Right.
you know which one." Like we don't, so we all just come. You
That's
know.
all right.
Question number 2. Has your child ever embarrassed you? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yes? Okay. All right, let's talk about it. Mama, tell us a time that your child embarrassed you.
Which one? All of them have. All of them. All 3 of them have embarrassed me. Okay. The oldest, Don Rico. Now, you know, kids and older people say just about anything. They have no filters, especially my oldest daughter. She has no filter. Now, when she was, I guess, about maybe 4 or 5 years old, we were on the bus. And back in the day, I used to call myself Vicky. That was my other name, Vicky. So we're on the bus and a guy is hitting on me. And he said, "Hey, what's your name?" And I said, "Vicky." And Don Rica goes, "Your name is Dona." I'm like, "Oh, well," I had to go on and tell him, "Yeah, my name is Dona." Because he believed the child. He knows the child was right. And see, Don Rica was one of a kind, I tell you. Because she embarrassed me a lot of times. Again, you know, kids, they say anything. They just do. There's a man on the bus. Again, he had no arms.
Okay.
Kids ask all kind of questions. This is Don Rica again. She petted the man, just hitting him, excuse me, sir. She said, he looked at her, he goes, "Yes." And she says, "Where's your arms?" "You don't have no arms." I'm like, oh my God, did she just ask that man where his arms are? But he smiled and he said, you know, he gets it all the time from children. So he went ahead and told her about how he lost his arms. So that child has embarrassed me several times. Then the other one, which is the one having the show, Daryl. That one there, she doesn't even mean to embarrass you. It's just kind of like an accident. She really doesn't even realize that she embarrassed you, you know. That one, she thinks I'm Superwoman. I can do it all. If you ask me to sing, my mom can do it. If you need somebody to act, my mom can do it. If you need somebody to cook something, my mama can do it. If you need somebody to do just about anything, my mama can do it. And I said, "Dara, I know you love me. I know you think your mom is super mom. I'm not." But she had me set up to do something, to sing a song, and I didn't know what I'm singing. I didn't know that she done told the people that I'm singing. And I'm just like, oh my God, I was so embarrassed that these people had expected me to be singing at somebody's funeral. That's my Daryl. I love her. She didn't have a clue. She just was depending on her super mom. So I think that's enough embarrassment from those 2 alone.
I definitely agree, and I do think that you're super mom, and you shouldn't be so talented in the things that you do. And I mean, that's not my fault. That's God's fault. He gave you all that talent, so I think you need to take it up with him. My Blazze, have you ever felt? You said yes. You felt embarrassed.
Yes.
Tell us a story or 2 about time you felt embarrassed by your kid.
Sitting at choir rehearsal, one of my bonus babies, her name is Tanisha. We're sitting there, and you know how some of us ladies, we have extra skin on our arms. The lady sitting beside me, Tanisha leans over and she gets to shaking the woman's arm, you know, watching it swing back and forth. And then she goes to the other side and shakes this lady's arm, watches swing back and forth.
Oh my goodness.
She's not saying nothing. She's just doing this to these women. I couldn't say anything. I was so embarrassed. That was the most embarrassing time of my life. But I'm glad we were in church and they were Christians and they didn't hold it against me.
Good. Thank you, Christian ladies.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Next question. Have you ever fibbed or lied about your child's age to get a discount? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay. Thumbs down, mama. Go ahead and tell the story.
Okay. Ponderosa. See, when you got 3 kids and both parents are working, but stuff is expensive.
Yeah.
So we used to go out to eat every night where there was free for the kids 10 and under. Of course, my kids was 12 and over. But my oldest girl, Donna, she looks 12 now. She's always been little, and you could get away with any age with her. Dara, the same. She's not going to say much. But little Nate, when they said, now all of you, Rika's going to be 10, and Dara and Lene are both 9. Our Dara's going to be 8. Well, they asked, how old are the kids? And I said, 10, 9, and 8. Lene said, well, who's 10? I said, you are. I said, no, I'm not. I'm 12. I said, no, you're not. You're 10. I said, he's slow. He's a little slow. He's 10. He just wants to be 12 so bad. And then Rika says, well, I'm older than him. I said, no, you're not. That was so embarrassing. But they allowed all 3 kids to eat 10 and under.
Yeah, because they probably was like, you know what? I think the mama might be the one that's.
They probably figured that I was lying, but they went on and fed the kids anyway.
I love it. You know what? Y'all better love on y'all mamas, as crazy as they may be. You better love on your mamas, because I tell you one thing for certain, 2 things for sure. Me, the way I grew up, we laughed. If we didn't do nothing, we laughed. There was so much comedy in my house between my mama and my daddy. There was so much comedy. And if you have parents that make you laugh even still as an adult, go ahead and like, subscribe, and bang that bell, because I tell you, laughter can get you through some of the hardest times in your life. Even as an adult, sometimes you just need to laugh. And I can say that I can pick up the phone and laugh within the first 5 minutes talking to my mama. So that's some good stuff. That's some good laughs. So let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes, ladies. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. So let's talk about challenges. When it comes to your adult children, what are some of the challenges that you face with having adult children versus when they were smaller and maybe they were, going along or easy to correct, should I say? Let's talk about any challenges that you have as a mother of adults. My Blazze?
Decisions. Decisions. Just because I'm the mother, it just don't make me right. I had to learn that too. But it just seems like when they're faced with a decision, they make the wrong one to me. Depending on the situation. But they work it out. They will listen to me, but they will do what's best for them, what they think is best for them, and talk to me about it. But I had to learn that I'm not always right.
Yeah. Got you. Mama, anything you want to add to that in regards to the challenges of having adult children?
Well, the challenges for me are, like you said, when they were younger, we could tell them, what to do, what not to do, what we expect of them. It was our way because we were the parent and we were the one in charge. So it was my way or the highway. But now they're grown. And there are some challenges because they're married, and some things I disagree with in the marriages, but I don't say anything now where I voiced my opinion then. I don't say anything now because they're grown and they have to make their own decisions.
That's right.
I try to stay out until they ask me to come in. But when they ask me to come in, I let them know, now you asked me to come in.
Yeah.
So if you ask me to come in, listen, you asked me to come in for a reason. So you want some input. You want some advice. You want me to say something that is that's going to be music to your ear or help your situation or just shine some light on what you're going through. And with that, you may not take what I say to heart, but you did listen to whatever I suggested.
Right.
But it's hard sometimes when you disagree with the decisions that they've made, whether it be with my grandchildren or with their spouses. But again, I stay out of it because I feel like they'll learn from it. And just as I did, in my marriage or with raising my children, they'll learn. And if it gets too heavy for them, they'll reach out for help. But until then, I stay out of it.
Understood. Great answers. And me being an adult child, those are great answers and great tools to have, because we're always going to need our mothers, regardless of how old we are. I mean, even you all at your age, you're still needing your mothers or a mother figure or somebody you can talk to, because I know, it's always sometimes where things get hard and you need somebody else's mind. You like, look, help me process this, help me figure out another way of thinking. Because right now, the way I'm thinking, I can go choke my child right now, and you're like, I need to talk this out. Yeah. So I get it. So with the good comes the bad. So besides the challenges, let's flip it to the other side. Now that you have adult children, what are some highlights or some good things about them being adults now? What's the highlight that, you're like, oh, I'm glad you're an adult now because of blah, 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 blah. What you got, my Blazze?
Grandbabies.
Hey.
I love comparing them to how they used to be. It's just, I just love grandchildren. I love the babies, always will. And it doesn't matter if they get to be 30 something or 3 months. Yeah, I love it. I just love it. And might I add, just real quick, my mother will be 90 years old in July.
That's awesome. That's
not a day passes I do not talk to my mother.
That's right.
I talk to her, and she's so proud of herself. She's learned how to text now and use emojis. So have to be careful with that. But I love it. I love the grandbaby part. I watch them grow up and just see how much alike they are their parents, So that's gratifying to me. I love that part.
Okay. What's gratifying to you, Mama?
Grandbabies. Again, grandbabies. Love my grandbabies. Yeah. I've got 21 of them. 21 grandbabies. And 2 great grandbabies. And that's just out of 3 kids. Look at God. Won't he send you an abundance? He enlarged my whole territory. Yeah. And I'm talking increase. And it's a blessing. I love them to death. Love all of them. I'm not going to have them all over at the same time, but I love them all to death. And my thing is, my grandbabies, when my kids see the grandbabies doing something, they say, well, Mom, when we was kids, you didn't let us get away with that. I said, yeah, because y'all was my kids. These are not, they're yours. So I am not going to raise them as if they're mine, because they're not. They're yours. So they don't get the same treatment that you got because you were mine. I'm going to love on them grandbabies.
Yeah, let me write that down.
You can do all of that when you get them back home. But while they're in my presence, they're grandbabies. They're not my children. They're your children. So it's a difference in how we relate to the grandbabies versus our own children. It's not that they're getting away with anything, not with the grandparents anyway. Now, if they're getting away with something, it's because they're getting away with it at your house. Now, and with that being said, grandbabies are just a blessing. They just bring so much joy to your life and youth to your life and new things. They do such things that your kids didn't do. These kids are new kids. They're the new age children. And they do things like, what? And they learn so much so fast. I always say my little Royal, she's what, 6?
7.
7 years old. And she was using the cell phone at 3. And doing things at 3 years old that my kids didn't learn till they was 13. So just imagine when Royal gets 13, she's knowing stuff that's 21-year-olds know.
That's right.
Because everything is so sped up now. These kids know things coming out of the womb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can work my phone better than me. You can hand in children your phone. They have never used it, never seen your phone ever, but they know where to go and what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're right.
They're so advanced. So the grandbabies bring us joy and reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a beautiful thing. I just love my grandbabies. They're the best.
Love it. I love it. And they love you too. Are there features that with your adult children that your grandkids give them hell like they gave you hell? Is there certain things you see in your grandchildren that you like, oh, karma, I knew I was going to come around. You was going to feel what you gave me. Is that how it is sometimes?
Yes.
Yes. Especially with Royal. Because my mother told me, because I was a piece of work.
Yeah.
And mom said, you're going to get one just like you. And I got Rico. Rico's a piece of work. She was a piece of work. Out of the 3 kids, she was the one. Glory to God. He sent me through hell and high water. And I didn't know how to swim, so therefore I was drowning sometimes. So she got Royal. And Royal gave her a run for her money. I'm talking at 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And she's 7 now. So it's been a minute time where Rika called me and was like, Mama, what am I doing? Royal is acting out in school. And I said, well, she got it from my mama. You know, but then I share with her what to do. And you can't use the same tactics, methods, techniques on the kids today that you use on them, on their mamas and their parents. You can't use those. They don't work. Hear me again. They don't work.
That's true.
You got to do something else. You got to find something that has to do with who she is or who he is, not their parents, not how you brought their parents up or how you did things with their parents, because they're not their parents. Even though they tend to act like them sometimes, they still are not their parents. So I had kids. I had 2 that I could spank and 1 that I had to punish. My mom had 6 kids, 3 that she had to punish, 3 she had to spank. So they're different. And a lot of people don't spank their kids no more. In the Bible, it says a spirit of rivalry in the child. It doesn't say abuse them, beat them to death, but you need to get that butt sometime.
That's right.
And let them know that I mean business, you know? So I think that that's lacking now. There ain't too much whipping going on now. You know, if anything, the children is reacting on their parents. But for the most part, I think that some spanking needs to be going on with these children today. You ain't got to beat them, but sometimes you need to spank them.
Understood. And so when we talk about, you know, our parents or you all's parents and the way that you were brought up, do you feel like your parenting skills and the way that you parented your children stemmed from the way that you were raised or the way that you was brought up, my Blazze?
I do. In my house, it was all about respect. I mean, I don't care. You must respect your parents. It's certain things that in my day you just didn't do in front of your parents. You just didn't say in front of your parents.
Right.
So I believe in chastising that child. I believe in all that. You know, they didn't have cell phones and all that to take away from them back in the day. So they had punishments. We did have TV. No, you can't watch TV. No, you can't go outside. No, you can't have this and you can't have that. That seemed to work back then. But just like Donna said, it's a whole new day. It don't work no more like that. It depends on that individual child and their personality, and that's how you have to deal with it. But it's all about respect. You have to command that respect in your
That's right.
home. If you don't get that respect, they're not going to respect you, and they're not going to respect any other adult out there in that street.
I
That's my
agree.
take on that.
I agree. I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Well, on that note, we are going to go ahead and jump to the segment called What's the Meme? I'm going to play a meme, and then you read it and you tell us your take on what that means to you as a mother. Here we go. Now tell me what the meme means.
What the meme mean? What the meme mean?
All right. So, being a mother, let's talk about that meme. Anybody want to go ahead and elaborate first on what that meme means to you?
Well, I would like to say that means to me, it just shows you what you have to go through as a parent. There are strengths, there are weaknesses, there are ups and downs, and there are fears. Fears, sometimes you're scared of making the wrong decision, or you're scared you're not going to have the relationship that you would love to have with your children. We used to sit at the table all the time. We sat at the table, we ate at the table. A lot of that doesn't take place anymore, but we ate our meals at the table, and we used to talk as a family, and we would ask them how their day went. Is there anything they need to talk to us about? Is there anything they need to share with us? And like I said earlier, we punished and we spanked. And when we would sit at the table, we would ask them about whippings that they got. And we would say, what whipping did you get, and what you learn from it, and what did you do to get the whipping? And they would tell us about the whipping that they got, why they got it, and what they learned from it. And I think when things like that happen, you don't repeat the same mistake, because you learn something from the chastisement, from the punishment. And the strengths are, it takes strength to raise children. You need Jesus. If he's not in your life, you need him in your life.
Amen.
Because you cannot do it by yourself. And with God in my life, he has grown me tremendously through my children. My children have taught me so much, watching them grow into adults. And it shows me that through Christ, who has strengthened me through my fears, I did a good job. Me and their dad, because it wasn't all me, but we did a good job of raising them from children to adults. And I thank God for that. So that's what that means to me.
Yes. Awesomeness. My Blazze, what does that mean to you?
The thing that stuck out most was that word strength. Sometimes you have to, we love our children. We love them just something terrible. Sometimes you have to have the strength to say no.
Ooh.
You got to say no, even if you want to say yes, even if you wish they had done something else, you got to say no, because that's the right thing to say. You can't worry about them not loving you. You can't worry about being a friend. Sometimes
Amen.
you have to be mom. You're going to be mom. And if mom raised that child right, kid's going to love you regardless. Might take a minute for them to say something else to you,
Mm-hmm.
but that kid's going to love you. It is that word strength. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to raise a child. And just like Donna said, you have to know the Lord. You have to remember some of the teachings. I really had a praying mother. I got a praying mother, and I was her biggest struggle because I was her only one. I mean, I was crazy. I was crazy. So my mama had to go to the Lord and get those answers that she needed. It's strength. We have to find strength to say no, especially these young mothers nowadays to their children. Yeah.
And I like to piggyback off of that.
Go ahead.
When you said that, a friend thing, because in this generation now, parents are trying their best to be their kid's friend instead of the parent.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so important, because I share with my children, and Dara will tell you, you don't have a lot of friends in life. You have a lot of acquaintances.
That's true.
You don't have a lot of friends. Friends are few.
Mm-hmm.
Acquaintance come in abundance.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to know the difference. And I used to tell them all the time, I don't care if I'm your friend. I don't care if you like me or not. I'm your mother. I'm the one that's going to tell you what you don't want to hear.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's going to tell you that dress is ugly on you while you thinking you cute. No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that's going to tell you, no, not that boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one going to tell you, no, not that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be my son's girlfriend or my daughter's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll tell you, I'm not one to pick their friend for them, but I let them know about their friend. If I had a premonition, or I had something, or I knew something about their friend, I would let them know, hey, not that little girl, not that little boy. Now, with you saying, you have to tell them no, I had to tell them no. And yeah, they got mad many a times with me because I told them no. You know, you have to tell them no. That's a part of teaching. That's a part of parenting. You can't tell them yes on everything. They're going to find out in life that yes isn't the answer for everything. There is a no. And when they get a no, they're going to lose it because no one has ever told them no.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to instill that and let them know, if you're their parent, your job is to teach them right from wrong.
That's right.
Whether they like it or not. And see, that's the problem with today. Everybody is on pins and needles and walking on glass because they don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. They don't want to tell her no, or tell her she can't go there, or she can't be his friend, or whatever. We're parents. We love you. And everything we tell you is out of love. I promise you. Mm-hmm. And that's why I always go back to Jesus, because Jesus is the living example. You know, he sacrificed his life for us so that we might have life. So if he told us no, then we ought to be able to tell our children no, and it'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
We love you.
That's good. That's really good, because when you talk about the fact that you're not meant to be your children's friend. Yes, you would like for you and your children to get along.
Okay.
But if you know that your child is wrong, you got to think about, again, how they're going to turn out in the future if you keep giving them a pass, making them think that it's okay. It's not okay. If we didn't discipline our children now, because I believe in the whooping system. I was raised on the whooping system. My kids was raised on the whooping system. And I'm not, I'm not saying my children are perfect, but my children know that they mama don't play, which I knew my mom and daddy didn't play. So my children were raised up on the whooping system. And even now today, my children are 14, 15, and 18, but they say, I'd rather get a whooping from daddy than from mama. But I don't look at that as a bad thing. I look at that because I always say, I'd rather discipline my children than to allow the police to discipline my children.
That's right.
The world to discipline my children, or the school system to discipline my children. And I ended up getting a call that my baby is hurt because somebody overdid the discipline of my children. So I know that we want to, again, be our children's friends, and we want to talk about things more in this generation, because I do have a, open door policy with my children where it's like communication is key. I need to know what's going on. You may lie to everybody, but don't lie to me, because I'm the one that's going to get you out of trouble.
That's right.
So I definitely commend you both on the fact of standing firm in, I'm not your friend. Because there was a many a times that mama would say, oh, she's not your friend. And to me, I'm like, she is my friend. She's my best friend. We do everything together. And mom was like, okay. But the older that I got, I was able to see that she wasn't my friend, you know. And you got to be able to see those people that are yes people around you, because they're benefiting off of your yes, versus those people that are your true friends is going to tell you no, or tell you no, that's not right, or, you know, give you the raw and uncut truth. And I say that because people will look at strong mothers and they feel like they just, you was born a strong mother. No, none of us were born a strong mother. We had to depend on the strength of God and surround ourselves around strong women, other mothers that could pour into us so that we could be the best mothers that we can be.
Amen.
So
Amen.
Right.
I just wanted to, you know, piggyback off of what you all said, because yes, I know that in the 90s and the 80s, it seemed like our parents were tough on us, and they were. They were. Yeah, they were. Even my Blazze children in the 70s.
That's right. That's right. And that one should have come with directions. I don't know. Lord.
Y'all were hard on us, but let's go into that in regards to the children of today. Would you all say that the children of today are weak in some forms because of the way the world was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and the way that children are being raised today? Want to elaborate on that, my Blazze?
I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think weak is the word I would use.
Okay.
These kids are very knowledgeable. They're smart, but they're not weak. They just don't know any better about some things, because some of these mothers are so close to their ages, and the kids are taking care of their mothers because of certain things that they're doing. So the mothers won't chastise them and tell them right from wrong, because they're helping them live. They're knowledgeable.
That's good. That's good. I like talking about that on a perspective from seasoned mothers, because again, the way that children are being raised today is not the way children were raised back when you all were mothering small children. Mama, you want to elaborate?
Yeah, I just feel like so much is handed to them now. That wasn't handed to us coming up. And I'm not going to say that they're weak, but they have a lot of weaknesses because first of all, we went outside and played until the street light came on. Half these kids don't even know what a street light is. And nobody's outside playing. They're all inside playing games. So no one is getting exercise, no physical involvement outside. And that's why it's a lot of obesity with our young people. Everybody's overweight because they're not outside doing anything. They're not running. We ran. We was outside all day long until the street lights came on. We wanted to be outside. We made games. We played kickball. We 4-square, 2-square. We had all kind of games. Hide and seek, frozen catchers, Mother May I, red light, green light. Now y'all might not play those games today, but you're not even making up none to play. You know, you're not outside enough to get any sun. And a lot of our youth today is lazy because they're not doing anything. They rather just hang in the house, hang over with friends, you know, and play games in the house. And you're not getting the exercise that you need. And the workforce. Nobody wants to work. Everybody wants the easy way out. They want to go online and become, what is it? Where you everybody is modeling after you. You're
influencer.
And what is it?
Influencer.
You're an influencer. You're influencing people by your clothing, what you're putting on every day, what you're using in your hair, the glasses you're wearing, the jewelry you're wearing. Those are easy jobs to me. I work. We work. We punch a clock. We go in and work 8 hours. we walking around, sitting around. We're actually moving around and working with our hands and with our minds and things. And I'm not saying that you can't be a millionaire being an influencer, but where's your hard work? Again, if everything comes easy, what do you know about hard?
That's right.
You know, it's easy to go online and put on some clothes and read a book and show everybody a book or what you're doing. But what is it saying about us that have really worked hard and working in companies and in schools and hospitals and trying to make up a buck, you know? So to me, the young people don't know what it's like to really work. And it's not all of them, but it's a large mass of them. Yeah. So all I am saying is more needs to be done with the young people. Some of them don't know. And it's our job as adults to let them know, to tell them what they're missing, tell them what they need to do, and not beat them across the head and not be mean, because sometimes they don't come to us because the way we come to them. So we need to watch the way our approach and not be so negative, and we'll get more positive out of them.
That's true.
I like that. Now, what about, and I'm just going off of what you said in regards to the influencers, the content creators, things of that nature, you know, from a perspective of, would that not be considered them being innovative? And because we have different tools now, we go about employment a different way in regards to being an influencer or an ambassador for different companies, where we wear their clothes and that's like an endorsement type thing. So instead of the hard work where it's physical labor, it's more mental labor and making the connections and the networking. What do y'all think about that perspective?
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome being an innovator. I think it's awesome. I think the influencers, everything they're doing, I think it's awesome. I think it's great. But I also think that you need to work. Mm-hmm. You need to do some hard work sometime. You know, if everybody becomes an influencer, who's working?
Right. Who's working?
If everybody is on there showing modeling somebody else's stuff, who's working? Everything's easy. You got to stop making things so easy, because I just don't want, and don't get me wrong, I've got innovators, I've got influencers in my family and all of that. And I love y'all. Just in case y'all watching, I'm not down in what you're doing, because Dara is my daughter and she's an influencer and an innovator as well. And I'm not down in anything that she's doing. But what I am saying is, let's not get away from hard work just because we want to make everything so easy.
Understood that perspective. And I worked before I became an influencer, and I still work every day. But but I did work. I wanted to work at 14, and my parents weren't having it. They said, "No, you gonna wait till you're 16." You know, and that's back when Broadway Cinema Days was jumping, and I worked there and became a manager at 16. So, you know, I started out working hard, you know, and I worked at Swift, which is hard for a woman, you know. I worked in warehouse work. I worked in probably everywhere you probably think of. But that's the way that we find our way. And I'm piggybacking off of Mama with that, because with the hard labor, that's what taught me that I have to work, and that nothing's given to me, you know. And if things are given to you, you need to watch who's giving it to you, because I'm sure there's just probably some strings attached. So be careful when people are just giving you stuff.
True.
And ladies, if you could give yourself a piece of advice when you first start having kids to now your adult children, what would you tell yourself, my Blazze?
Well, I already said, listen. I'm still listening. I'm still learning. Once you think you know it all, you failed already with these kids. And, you know, even though mine is over 50 and 22 or whatever, you still can learn from what they have to tell you, because it's a new day from my day. It's a brand new day. And you were talking about influencers and innovators. Girl, I know nothing about all that. You have to punch a clock or sign in somewhere. That's what I knew about. And I'm just now beginning to learn what this is all about. This is what my kids are telling me about. Now I can understand, but I still think everybody needs to know what it is to work, what it is to earn your money that kind of way. Hard work. Everybody needs it. Everybody needs it. But I'm
I
still
agree.
learning.
I agree. Mama, anything you would tell yourself when you first became a mother, any tools you would give to yourself, now that your children are grown, what would you tell yourself?
I'll pick it back off of Blazze. Listen, be a good listener. Listen, because they have a lot to say, and I want to hear it. It's important. I think that if I'd have listened to my mother, I wouldn't have had 3 kids. Because she was telling me, and I didn't listen. But now that I am a mother, it is important to listen, to hear what your children have to say.
Yeah.
Because if you don't listen to them, guess what? They're going to go and get somebody else to listen to them.
Wrong.
And that's not always good.
That's right.
I have been that mother where I've been a good listener to my children's friends. And you always have that kind of mother. My mother was that kind of mother where my friends came and listened to my mom. Okay. And don't get me wrong, their mom was telling them the same thing. But I tell my children this all the time. You listen to your friends' mothers, but I was telling them the same thing. It's just that sometimes kids hear it better from another mother.
Right.
And that's okay, long as they got it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's important, that they got it. That's why the village is important, because you want to make sure that the villagers in the village are all like me. The same mindset, the same parental influence that you want, that everything that you want your child to know, you want to make sure that everybody's on one accord, that everybody's teaching the right thing, so listening is a great tool. And I believe that listening to your children will pay off for you and your children in your relationship. Listen to them, especially now that they have children, because you're not always just listening to them. You're listening to your grandchildren through them.
That's right.
That'll get you when you get home. But you're listening because sometimes they're crying out. They're crying out to you. And you need to have your ears on, listening. Don't talk, just listen.
Just listen.
That's good. That's good. And I'm gonna ask a question off the back of that, because you said sometimes your grandkids are crying out. My Blazze, has there been time where you felt like your grandkids was crying out, and when you have adult children, how do you bring that to your adult child when your grandbaby is letting you know that they crying out for whatever it is? How do you set that up? How do you have that conversation? And is it always easy?
With my grandchildren personally, it's easy only because some topics, I think they feel more comfortable talking to me than they would their own mother or their own father. Even though I would probably give them the same answer, they feel freer. I don't know, whatever the situation is, they come to me. That happens frequently. We don't even have to be in the same city. And I'll get that call or I'll get that text, from the grandbabies. And I appreciate that. I love it. And sometimes I can't give them an answer right away because I don't know. That's another thing I've learned. Learn how to say, I don't know. Let me get back with you on this so I can have the proper answer for you. So, yeah. Yeah.
I love it. And then with your adult children, when your grandkids come to you, do you tell your adult children? How does that work out?
Not all the time.
Sometimes you just know you can handle it.
Sometimes they come to me in confidence. So if they come to me in confidence, I deal with it like that. And eventually they'll go to their parent or parents and tell them what our discussion was about. But I try to keep it confident, just like they asked. And of course, depending on the situation, if it's a major thing, I'd have to go ahead on and go on defrost and tell. But no, if it's confidential, I try to keep it that way.
I love it. I definitely love it, because there are times that your grandchildren may feel like it's not a safe space speaking to their parents about what they have going on. And they may feel like it's safe to speak to grandparents. So definitely welcoming that. That's the whole point of being a grandparent. You know, that parent word is in there, meaning that I'm a parent too. You know, I'm your parent's parent. So surely if you feel like that's not a safe space talking to your parent, it is the grandparent's role to assist the parents when it comes to making sure that child is in the right direction or going in the right direction. So I can appreciate that. So we are going to move on to the challenge. I believe that these mothers have set it up for me to go ahead to the challenge. And the reason being is because my mama said sometimes it takes another mother to mother. And when I say that, to me, when you are growing up and you don't feel comfortable saying something to your parents and you do go to another mother, you have to know your audience. You have to know what type of mother you're going to, because sometimes we don't want to go to our own mother because we know our mother's going to give us the truth. So we'd rather go to our friend's mother that's a little bit more free and out there, that's going to tell us yes. Right. So be careful of the mother that you're talking to, the mother that you're allowing to mother you. Mm-hmm. If it is not the mother that was given to you biologically, you know, there are other mothers out here, spiritual mothers. Say that your mother's not spiritual and that's what you feel like you need. You know, pray on that thing first. Mm-hmm. Please pray on that thing first before you go out here seeking a mother that's not your biological mother. Yep. And pray that God guides you to who you need to talk to. Because there are people out here that will love to play mom to you because, again, it's beneficial for them. Or they see a door where they can manipulate you. Mm-hmm. So you want to be careful of who you're allowing to mother you. So here goes the challenge. So the challenge, I am calling this the reflection challenge. This way you can look at yourself and reflect on your parenting journey. Reflect on your journey as a parent. Understand that just because your children aren't present or you don't see them does not mean that they don't see you and they don't see what's happening. Reflect back on being a parent, and being a parent is not easy, but sometimes it's easy for our children to say things like, well, you did it. Why can't I do it? Or I saw you say that. Why can't I say that? And a lot of times the simple answer is, I want you to be better than I am. I want you to be better than who I was when you saw me in that state. And for adult children, the challenge for you, forgive your mother. Forgive your mother. And when I say that, it's because there's a lot of adult children that are emotionally scarred for whatever reason. But forgive your mother so that you can grow. I speak to a lot of women that are still carrying loads and loads and loads of things that happened before they was even in high school. There comes a time that you are responsible for your own behaviors, your own life. You cannot continue to blame your mother and you are 30 plus of how you have turned out. Make the change. Change your life for you and change your life for your children, for they are connected to you. And break the generational curse that we don't have to get along and I don't have to like my mom and I don't have to. Come on now. Come on. Especially if you somebody's mama. You don't want your child to feel like that when it comes to you. Mothers work hard to try to provide as best as they can. And depending on when they became a mother, at what age they became a mother, what time it was in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they didn't have the same resources that we have now. So I ask you, challenge you to give your parents grace and mercy for what they did know and what they were able to do. Now, I'm not saying that, you weren't scarred, because some people were scarred. Go to your mother. That mother loves you. Talk to your mother. Work that thing out. And if it doesn't work out the way that you want it to, understand that you did your part. You did your part. Continue to pray for your mother, that she will figure it out and see how much it means to you. So if you are up for the challenge, thumbs up in the comments. If you're not really ready, are you still scarred and you're not ready to forgive? It'll come in time. Us mothers will continue to pray for you on your journey of becoming the best mother that you can be. So now I'm going to bring these mothers back on to give their final pours to the world. Whether it's a mother that they're speaking to, just to give them some guidance, or children or grandchildren that they're speaking to. But I'm going to allow these mothers who were phenomenal mothers to me and still are phenomenal mothers to me at 38 years old. I'm going to bring them back on to give their final pours. Mama, I'm going to bring you on. Give your final pours to the world.
Dara, you said a lot of things that are important. And I mainly like the part where you said there are other mothers, but you have to pray on that thing. And the reason I'm sticking there is because not only God hears you, Satan hears you too. And he knows the desires of your heart as well. And you can go to another mother and she tell you exactly what you want to hear, but it wasn't what you needed. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful for that. And it's true that mothers, when I was coming up versus mothers today, it was different. We had different resources. We had to do what we did with what we had to do it with. And the mothers today look back on that. Some of my kids, they look back on it and be like, well, Mom, why didn't you do this? You could have did this. You could have did that. And it's easy for you to say that now as a mother, but you weren't back there then when I was mothering. So it's easy. So there was some scarring with your children. And when I say scarring, sometimes if you're scarred and whatever age you're scarred at, that's where it ends. That's where it sticks with you. So if you're 17 and you was hurt real bad, that's where you are. You're still at 17 years old where you were hurt real bad. And now you're 25 or 30 years old. So you got to let go and let God. Let go of some stuff. Let go of your mother's past. Because there's nothing she can do about it. So it's definitely nothing you can do about it. It's the past. And it's called the past for a reason, because it's gone and over with. But you can make the present and the future better than your past. Yes. By learning from your past. And learning from the way you were raised. That's why my kids don't use all my tactics, all my methods, because they didn't like them, or they just weren't the one that they needed for their children, raising them. And that's fine. Because again, all children are different. So my reflection of all of this is to say this to each and every one of you out there that's listening. Be the best, whatever you are that you can be. Mother, friend, sister, aunt, just a child of God. Be the best you can be. Do the best that you can with your children, with upbringing them. Love them. Be honest with them. Listen. And I promise you, keep God first. Let go of some stuff, even some people. Let go and let God. That's all I got to say on that topic. Let go and let God. He will lead you in some places that you won't even think about. None of this mess. Love y'all.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to heal. Being angry and staying angry that ain't making a difference at all. You just staying angry and your face is getting tight and ugly. So fix that. I'm going to go ahead and bring my Blazze on to give her final pours.
We talked about strengths and fears, respect. But it's one thing we have not talked about. Some of these younger mothers that are going through things, they need to talk about that finger. Stop pointing that finger at everybody else except yourself. Sometimes we have to look at ourselves first and see, maybe it's something you could do to make things better. You might not be able to make it right, but you can sure make it better. You can deal with that. Mother is mother, whether you agree with what she said or not. Your mother is your mother. Respect that and respect her. And Dara, can I say one thing and get just off topic just a bit? I appreciate you, but I truly appreciate Dona. Women need to learn how to respect each other, the different roles that they've played in the children's lives. You don't have to go through all the bad talk and the ups and downs and all that. Learn how to respect each other and be an example. Be an example to these kids. And I say kids, I don't care if you're 60, 40, or 30. Be an example. I appreciate you. I really do. That's it for me.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Wow. If you do not have a good relationship with your mother, listen, take what my mothers have said today. Allow those seeds to be planted in you. Allow those seeds to be planted, and then water those seeds and watch God shine the sun so that you can grow. You don't need to stay who you are. You can change. You can change that. But heal, whatever that looks like. Heal and allow your mothers to help you heal. Let them in. Let them help you heal. And understand that we have to embrace the imperfections. None of us mothers are perfect. None of us. None of us are or will be. But I will say this. God gave the children that you have to you for a reason. You have every tool that you need already to mother your children. If you're not sure which tool you need, pray on that thing. Allow God to show you what tool you need for which child, because they are all different. But trust that you have everything in you already that you need to be the best mother to your children. And sometimes you just need somebody to believe in you, that you are a phenomenal mother. So I tell you today, happy Mother's Day. And you all are phenomenal mothers the way that you were created. Embrace your imperfections. Figure out ways to make yourself better for yourself and for your children. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, bang that bell. And know, I love you a lot. And that's to every mother out there watching. I love you a lot. Thank you for tuning in to Cups and Conversations. Until next time.